Hi modelers, it's Chris and welcome to my video installing the CSB1 on my test track. Now, as well as installing the CSB1, I will be installing a lot of other components like block detection and relays, etc. So let's move over to the workbench and I'll show you the components that we're going to be playing with today. Okay, so let's have a quick look at what we've got on the bench. First of all, I've got a 8-block set of relays. They also come in 1s, 2s, 4s. I'm going to be using a few of these. An Arduino Mega that I've been using in the past, a D132, the controller that I was using with the DCC-EX motor shield. Unfortunately, I made a mistake and blew it up. I'll explain that a little bit later, but so you don't do the same things. And a EX CSB1 Wi-Fi DCX command station. Now I'm using this particular board. I can actually take my motor shield and put on top and give me 4 power districts, something that I will be doing on the layout. A Merg DCC-8 8-channel block detection board, because I'm going to be running about 70 blocks. I'll be needing 70 ways of block detection for those blocks, and at the moment I'm going to be using a few of these to do that. We've got the OLED display, we've got a buck converter. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to have as small amount of wiring as possible. So I'm going to be splitting things like the servo motors into the signal only coming back to an I/O expander and the power leads being run off a bus from the buck converter. With the buck converter you can adjust it to what voltage that you're looking for. In my case, I'm going to use 2 of these to produce 5 volts and 3.3. I've got a PCA 9685 to control my servos. They can also control your LEDs. I've got a bunch of infrared detectors, and this is another board that can be used for I/O expansion. And lastly, what I've got is an RFID module. I'm going to be putting RFI tags on the bottom of my locos so that I can track where they are on the layout and help the automation process. What I'm going to do next is mount several of these items on the test track and get the basic command station up and running. Here's my DCX command station, CSB1 from Millennium Engineering here in Perth. Along the rest of the board we've got some OLED displays. I've got a power distribution board that I've made. I've got a Y cable so that the power supply is feeding both the CSB1 and the buck converters, putting out in the top one a 3.3 and in the bottom one 5 volts. The white cable is the plus for 3.3 volts and the blue cable is the 5 volt bus. As we move along, we've got an I/O expansion board followed by the Merg DCC-8A. It's an 8-channel block detection and we've got 8 blocks on this layout. Top board you can see is an RT I/O expander, and the bottom board is the driver for the point motors. Next we've got the relays for controlling the polarity on the frogs. I'll describe my hookup for cabling a little bit later, but basically I bare the wire in the middle and solder the wire that's going to feed that particular voltage. In this case it's 3.3 volts and it's powering this infrared detector. Okay, so I'm going to be using the DCC-EX web throttle to demonstrate the CSB1 on my test track. Now you could use an iPhone, an Android tablet, or anything else you'd like that is able to download and be connected to the web, or you can download several free applications that will run trains as well. So this is a very quick and easy and economical way to get a model railway running with DCC. So let's start by connecting the CSB1 to the web throttle. I'm choosing the serial port that I'm connected to and connect. Now, because I've run this before, I've got several locos already in the throttle, so I'll choose the one that I'm going to be running. I'll turn the track power on so that we can see that it's actually on. I'll blow the horn. I'll start up the loco. And we'll increase the throttle to about 20. Now, as it passes through the blocks, you can see the LEDs light up for the block it's now occupying. Now, of course, this isn't connected to the CSB1, so it's not actually doing anything, but I do have several modules connected to power. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the loco, bring the slider down to 0, turn off the loco. I'll turn off the track power and I'll disconnect the CSB1. So there you have it, that's the web throttle. Now we have two connections to the track. The top one is the track power for normal running, and the bottom one is the programming track, or it could be you can divide your layout into two power districts. You'll notice that I've got a bunch of terminal blocks. The black wire is the ground and it loops through each one of the terminal blocks. The red wire is the positive and it doesn't loop through each one at the moment because I'm having the red wire come up, go along and connect to the block detection. If you look at the block detection board, you can see that there's a red wire going in and a yellow wire coming out. The connection with the two wires is such that they connect and go through the coil to detect the current, and that's how the block detection system works. Okay, so recapping what I've done so far. I've physically mounted a bunch of boards on the test track. Some of them are powered. Most of them are not connected to the bus going back to the CSB1. The CSB1 is bog stock. It's just how it came with a standard software loader on. So this means that anybody can get hold of one of them, connecting your layout to one of the two outputs. The top one is the standard one that I would recommend, and use either a phone or a tablet or a computer running the web throttle, and there you have it, you're up and running. It's something that would take you 10 or 20 minutes to set up, a little bit longer for me. Anyway, that's it, it's really simple and it works. Now moving forward, we're going to be showing you and talking about the horrible word programming. But I promise you, it's not that hard. If you can think about how you can do a task, go to the shops or any other task that you would do, or follow a set of instructions on building a model kit, you can program. It's really not hard at all, and I'll be stepping you through some of the basic examples that they give you to run trains So stay tuned for that. And of course, as we go through that process, I'll be adding a heap more sensors to detect where the train is and to make it do a variety of things. Even though my track is only 1.5 meters long, I'm going to be able to show you how two opposing locomotives can run and not run into each other. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. You probably noticed all the blue masking tape, and that was there just to hold the wires down to get it running pretty quickly for you. I promise that as we move forward, it will become a lot more neat and tidy and easy to follow. I'll show you how I'm going to be labeling both ends of my cables. Now, I'd like to do a big shout out to those guys who have watched the video and subscribed. The first video is only about 2 weeks old, and already 200 people have had a good look at it. We've got about 10 subscribers. So Rome wasn't built in a day, so thanks again. And by the way, if you're watching this video, please subscribe and like it. It will help YouTube's algorithm show it to more people and help the channel grow, and give me more things to do and hopefully show you more things as I go further into the journey. Now, the next video is going to be on the beginnings of programming. We're going to have a quick look at the language and how it works. We're going to upload our first automation and explain the various parts that make it work. So I look forward to doing that, because now we're at a point where we can start having a bit of fun. Oh, and by the way, if you're following along with this and you're really wanting to learn the programming side and the automation side, why not build a similar test track? A couple of meters of track, divided up in 8 to 10 sections. They don't need to be very long. Mine are 150 mil 6 inches and 300 mil at the both ends, so it's about a foot, long enough to get a loco parked in the block. Anyway, that's enough rambling for me. Have a great day modelling and lots of fun, and thanks very much for the kind words. And don't forget to support my old business, ABR Modelworks, and also support Millennium Engineering. They've helped me quite a bit in getting started with this project, and their retailer is Buck and Bull Model Trains. So have a look at their website. Anyway, that's enough for now. Catch you later.